1. Ellie. Ellie approached the antebellum mansion with caution. 34 years had passed since she'd last been here. Time had not been kind to the house, as evidenced by the paint peeling in sheets off the wood siding, and rotten newel posts on the first and second floor porches. With Pixie dancing around at her feet, she climbed the brick steps and removed the brass key from under the mat where the attorney had instructed that she'd find it. After a struggle with the jammed lock, the key finally engaged, and she swung open the oversized paneled door. Standing stock-still on the threshold, she stared down the wide center hallway. Memories drifted toward her, and her knuckles turned white as she gripped the heavy molding of the doorframe. She heard echoes of voices, some demanding and others more soft-spoken, and saw snapshots of the people who had once lived and worked in the house. Her mother and grandmother. Sally Bell the cook, Maddie the maid, and Abraham, the old black man they referred to as the chauffeur but who was really a jack of all trades. Who was the little girl with dark curly hair and eyes as black as a moonless night? A playmate? A distant cousin or close family friend? In this memory, Ellie and the girl were huddled together behind an open door, hiding from something or someone. Were they playing a game? She'd spent endless hours and countless dollars working with a therapist to summon these memories from the deep recesses of her mind, where they'd been locked away for most of her life. The voice inside her head grew louder, cautioning her not to let the memories out. When she backed out of the doorway and onto the porch, the voice escalated to a scream that warned her to get out of Charleston while she still had the chance. But where would she go? There was nothing waiting for her in San Francisco. That chapter in her life had come to an end. She slipped the key back under the mat, and inhaling a deep breath, she wheeled her suitcase across the threshold and closed the door behind her. Pixie was eager to stretch her tiny legs, after being cooped up in her carrier during the long flight from California, and the drive into town from the airport. Ellie followed along as her little dog's button nose led them from one room to the next. To the best of her recollection, the furnishings hadn't changed since she was last here as a 6-year-old, the day the father she'd never met came to claim her. Even back then, everything had been faded and frayed. She found the dark fabrics oppressive in shades of browns, burgundies, and blues, and thought the heavy furniture, enormous antique pieces with little detail and zero charm, belonged in an abandoned Scottish castle. Ellie remembered the grape juice stain on the Queen Anne's sofa in the living room. She'd been punished for much lesser crimes than spilling the juice, a muddy footprint on the kitchen floor, leaving the lid off the cookie jar, hiding under her mother's sickbed. When Pixie grew bored with the living room, she ventured back to the center hallway toward the rear of the house. The red damask wallpaper.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?